All right, welcome to another lesson for your second semester, just the roundup lessons for your theory. Here, HBAR 330 for managing talent. We're still going to continue talking about managing talent. It's a nice short show once again, and I think we're going to do another two more before we end the theoretical lessons, two or three more for the year. Just as a reminder, once again, I know that you are busy doing your practicals on air at the moment or in the production studio. Doesn't matter. You are on air and you're doing your shows. Please note again, I'm sure you know that I've shared the new schedule with you, and I think at this point we kind of have worked out most of the kinks, right? And we're starting to settle in. We're starting to settle in. What also, just again, I have obviously sent that as a message on the WhatsApp group. But once again, just to kind of mention it, that we have been granted. So Grant has spoken to Karika. Karika has approved it. That if needs be, because we are six groups with only four sessions a week. It's 10 to 1 that some groups are going to fall behind in terms of getting a regular or consistent feedback, and so they have allowed us 2 extra hours in the week. By the end of, well, I mean, you've seen obviously messages in the WhatsApp group as well. 10 to 1 probably going to be after hours because I don't want it to clash with any one of you in the class. Any old any old lesson that and class that you might be having throughout the day. And 10 to 1, it's going to probably fall on a Wednesday or a Thursday night. Please just obviously be vigilant in terms of what's going to be updated in the WhatsApp group, and then I will update the booking sheet that you can be able to start booking those sessions from next week onwards so that we can get you on the go. Just another, again, just a little bit of another announcement that you should be watching out round about now. We're in week 3 or 2.5, should I say, of the broadcasting. So what's coming up in the next 2.5 weeks is going to be your first. Yeah, it's going to be the first marking, the 20 marks of the Snoop session that is in the formative three, and and so I have given you just a healthy warning. Just manage, just know that you always give it your best go in terms of your shows, and don't stress. I mean, don't stress. I will obviously mark as always do fairly, but within this particular one, with this 20 marks, I'm going to be uh, a little bit more lenient than I will be in the 80 mark one when you do obviously complete your 8 weeks of broadcasting. You decide on your best show and obviously submit that, right? Because we do understand that you are busy learning and it will be so. Don't imagine this train smash, okay? Just be, again, just be very, again, vigilant is the only word I can actually use right now about the basic things to get the show going. So no dead air, please the music out on time, or the music must be played. No cutting off of songs, no crashing of the vocals. These are simple things that you know already. A lot of yous have kind of started to climb that mountain and basically start to conquer, which I'm very happy for you that you are progressing at a good pace and growing at a good pace and a healthy pace. So just those really those ones where are black and white, especially in the technical, where you can just get zero or you can just get a one. Make sure that those things are taken care of. And when we get to the creative side, we can start to look at a little bit more leniency, like I say, in saying, okay, maybe you did intend to do it here, and the intention was there or the structure was there. It wasn't maybe the perfect link, whatever it may be, but that mark would probably be allocated to you should you have obviously gone this route that I just mentioned. Anyway, a full obviously some of the groups, I think two of the groups will be getting their marking done 10 to 1 next week because they'll have reached their third Snoop session, and the others of you will definitely be marked the week after that. Okay. All right. So let's quickly look at this next lesson in managing talent. Looking at it from once again the manager's side, managing talent. This is a year where you are learning about management in radio, and just a lot of points and a lot of questions that you need to ask yourself as a manager on being able to lead your talent and empower that talent as best as you can. Right. All right. So let's go to the first slide here. Yeah. When we are doing snooping and air checking, once again, there are a number of things that, manager needs to do. And again, hopefully this is translated within our own snoop sessions. I'm sure that you've noticed again, um, my demeanor or my interaction with each one of yous and as a group is obviously a lot different to me as a lecturer. Right here, I'm going to emulate and be what you need as a station manager or program manager. I I want to be able to like every one of yous are important. Every one of yous are considered, let's say, part of a team or this team, whatever it may be. And each one of yous have your own journey in terms of your own professional journey to grow in. So obviously being very, very honest with you, but very, very like obviously encouraging and critical where it needs to be. Each person, once again, as we saw in previous lessons, needs to be dealt with differently, right? Because you are talent. So let's look at some of these aspects here that are what we are trying to, not trying to, we are doing within the Snoop sessions that we are holding over the next couple of weeks, right? Providing you talent with a clear mission. So, this is what we're doing in terms of saying, listen, this is what we need to fix. This is what I say to you, what do you think? What do you feel when you listen back to the show with me? What is your opinion? Because your opinion gives you ownership and once again control, but also allows you to be part of this process because you are an element, right? You are a massive factor in being able to build a great product, right? In your shows, show talent what success will look like. So, telling you that this is what I see for you. This is this is how it should sound when you fix this. This here also is a great piece, an example of a great piece or a great execution, whatever it may be, right? Putting at the point at the goal and then get out of your way. So I'm not, as you can see, I mustn't micromanage you because there is nothing worse than a micromanager in a workplace. People are hired because they are considered the best of the selection the selection of which who has applied right for their job. So knowing that I picked, let's say I'm a manager, I picked the best person for the job. I would like to believe that you can do this in your own capacity when you have been given a point, like a point of direction, goals, etc. And then I want you to again do your job and feel that kind of once again that control as opposed to like this nitpicking every single day, like sending you SMSs or messages or calling you every time you're doing a show. Ah, it's mania, it's chaos, and it's not good management, right? Maintain honesty when hiring talent, dealing with talent daily, and giving feedback. Keep talent focused. Again, small, so like bite-sized goals instead of this large amount of feedback, and then the person doesn't really know what it is that you actually want. A manager should also say, "Do you understand? Tell me." If I need to explain it another way, or tell me your own interpretation of what it is that you got from this particular session and the feedback that was given to you, right? Choose people who share a vision of their shows and growth, right? We want obviously people within a company, within a radio station that want to work for this brand, that have that passion for the vision and mission statement of the station itself. of the group dynamics, the team dynamics, and that building the corporate dynamics as well, right? So working all towards the same goal. Reward first time failures to encourage trying new things, right? Which is how we want you to be able to understand that. Look, first time failures, right, mean an opportunity for you to fix immediately what you know is wrong, and that is by trying it out in a different way, right? As a manager, you will expect mistakes because they will happen. We also will expect complaints because they will happen. And so we have to be able to manage this, not always having this very fiery side of supporting your team, but knowing that the team also needs to know that you have their support. You're not going to just kind of bail out every time a listener complains, a listener complains, a listener complains, or even other team members might complain. We've got to see this from an objective view, right? And be able to handle all these things that are going to come our way as a manager. Right, nourish talent with advice when necessary. Or alternatively, right, give them compliments, right, when necessary. Don't be that person that goes and just says nice things for the sake of saying a nice thing, because it's fake and it is not helpful to anybody, right, on the other side. Create a safe space for your talent, right? So advocate the importance of the time spent snooping to your presenter. Constructive crit doesn't mean breaking someone down. That is super important. And I know that you're going to come across a lot of managers throughout the lifetime of your professional career that will do this, right? Because not every manager is a great manager. And that's, ah, unfortunately, that's just the way things are, right? But you will also come across really great bosses, right? Really great leaders that are gonna do the job correctly, right? That inspire, want make you want to come to work, make you want to do better and do your job correctly, right? Or to the best of your ability. Apply big picture thinking as a manager. So live the brand, no islands of information or rogue Ronans, right? This whole thing of the island of information, should I say, is inspired actually from when I did this particular lesson. I wrote this one up. It's inspired actually from my studies in IT, right? Where we have different systems and different systems. For example, I can give you a good example. The SAPS was working for many years in different branches as islands of information. So for example, one particular police station, and it could be in Randburg, had no idea of what was going on in, let's say, the Pretoria North one or the Arcadia or whatever it may be, right? And so the problem with that was, yeah, clearly in terms of being able to synchronize, right? People's fines, people's, like this certain, what do they call it? Oof, I don't know. When it escalates and there's different versions of different fines, right? Anyway, so people could go get a ticket in Ravonia, and they could go through a roadblock or whatever it may be in like I say, Centurion, whatever it is, and you would be part. They check their own system. They wouldn't know whether or not you had 50 other fines somewhere else. An island of information is not a good. You can't work alone in a station, right? Yes, the show is solely your responsibility for sure, right? But remember that the brand is what you're working for at the end of the day. So you need to be locked into that brand. You need to be locked into other team members, staff members, know the processes, know the departments, know, make sure that you are a team player, etc. Right? We don't want people just going off on their own thing, imagining like the station is their own to play with. It's not their station, right? And it's not your station. So in terms of that, no islands of information within the process of making this station work, right? Always encourage creativity. Have a notepad to jot down ideas constantly, good or bad. Brainstorming better ideas. Read as much as you can. Look up terms of concepts that you don't understand. Have an ordering system and a timetable for rollout schedules, thinking times, that type of thing. So this is what you would tell your talent. Don't be afraid to just think of stuff. This is your job. You got to constantly, constantly, every day, every single show, whatever it is for the rest of your career, be an infinite creator, right? An endless creator. And so the thing is that processes need to be need to happen, right? Which is brainstorming is a process of just saying, let me just open up all the ideas and flush out anything that is good, bad, or mediocre in between that's relevant, that's not, that can work today, that can't, that can work next year, that can't, that can work on another show, that can't, etc., etc. Right. So very important to be able to brainstorm those sessions. Don't think so hard about this perfect content piece. Open yourself up to, just randomly going from one YouTube video to another one TikTok video to another one. Just if you are stuck and you don't really know what to maybe do, or you are just entering, like I say, the process of production and preparing for a new show every week or whenever it is that your show is every day, then just open up something and you can spin off so many ideas, right, from everything that you just continuously play or look at or read or whatever it is, or just walk. Like if you're sick of like the digital space, then just walk out, to walk out to your nearest maybe shopping mall. uh, Excuse me, sorry, there's just a noise in the back there. Right, go to a shopping mall, go to sit down with some friends, go out, go to a club, go to a bar, whatever it may be, go to a restaurant, and start to like observe life as it is. Right. Just give me a second. I just need to quickly have a look at what something fell here. Give me a second. All right, I'm back again. It's just something drastic fell down. In yeah, just next to me here, just to get that up there. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, snooping and a checking coach rather than correct, right? So a team, like your team, your staff, like I say, your employees will respond to praise. So make sure that there's a good balance and a truthful a communication of what it is that they are good at. They did a good job. It's a great show, whatever it may be. I love this. I love that you tried this. I love that you're growing. I love whatever it may be. Honesty, right? They can learn at their own pace. Not everyone can work at the same pace, and you know that, right? So it's very important, like, for example, in this exercise that we're doing in terms of the practical, that I, for example, and you understand that you're not competing against your group members, each one of you, and it'll come so even clearer. I'm saying when we do the S1, the summative with the podcasting, and I have these individual sessions with you, right? That every single person grows differently and grows at a different pace as well, and also wants to grow for different things, right? So no, we need to obviously know that and nurture that, right? Demanding time and attention. Staff needs response to simple commands. They need to respond to simple commands. Do only like fix the dead air. Make sure that you're not cutting off those songs. The news was late. This was that, and keep it minimal. So I say like 3 links per crit session is more than enough, right? For feedback to be given and constructive feedback to actually be I said processed by this, like I said, this honor personality to go and do what they need to do and come back maybe the next week or the week after, right? With those things obviously attended to. Uh, you're going to make mistakes, so the staff is going to make makes. You have to set those boundaries as a manager so that they know, right, that they cannot They cannot go across. They cannot cross this boundary. They cannot go into this particular. They can't be saying these things. They can't play these things here. They can't talk for that long. They can't. There's a lot of cons, right? And even more so cans. There's a lot more cans than what you can't actually do, right? But those boundaries need to be clear. Otherwise, what happens is that the staff comes back and says, "But you never told me. You're shouting at me. You're reprimanding me, but I didn't know that we couldn't, let's say, play this song, or we couldn't, we couldn't talk maybe for an extra 2 minutes within that link, or whatever it may be, right?" They have natural skills and weaknesses that we obviously address. That's what a manager does. They are aware this is not your strongest suit. You need Here's your plan. Here's your plan to go and obviously attend to that, right? You can teach an old dog new tricks with difficulty, right? So yes, this will refer to someone that has been in the industry or has been in the platform for many years, right? Where they go and they start at a new station with a new manager that has new rules, new advice, and it is very difficult for them to change, right? Okay, or to be able to grow as fast as someone that is a little bit of more novice, intermediate person that is still fresh on in terms of that molding process, right? So they should be leashed until trained, right? So you got to keep them um, close at hand, right? And they love to listen back to their shows as a journey with you. I laugh because quite a few of you have said that you do not want to listen to your shows, and that I must just listen and give you just feedback, but you don't want to listen to this link and not that link or whatever it is. I do understand that you don't want to hear bad, like you performing badly, but think about it this way. When you are doing a great show, you will only, I'm telling you now, you're recording podcast here, now whatever it is, you're going to listen to just yourself for 90% of what you listen back to in radio, right? Because you're going to just fall in love. Oh, I love the way that I did that. I love this particular piece. I want to play it again. I like to assure myself that my growth is there, that my profession is there, professionalism is there, etc., etc. Right? Okay. Here are so like straight up do's and don'ts. Right? Use the word you. Use you instead of I. Avoid boring the listener. Maintain current listeners. We want to be able to serve our target market and not outside that for all the reasons that we have discussed throughout this year. Avoid manufactured topics, so don't fill gaps just because. If you do find yourself with, um, just a little bit of the point of manufactured topics, but if you find yourself with a little bit of extra time, maybe you can rather play a song or you can cross promote to, let's say, another show, some features like on the website or on social media, whatever it is. Just make sure that you're filling in the gaps in the right way, right? So, what's in it for me, the listener, right? Is it entertaining, interesting, conversational, lifted spirits, educational, shareable? What do the listeners want, and are you giving it to them? Give them interesting topics, obviously, to talk about, goes without saying. Make them laugh when necessary, right? When it is a laughable moment and a fun moment. And also just your personality. The more you let loose, man, like the those different sides of you are going to come out that your best friend loves about you, your mother loves about you, your sister, brother, whatever it may be, and also you love about yourself, right? Speak visually, as we know. Tell stories with theater of the mind. Topic selection, health, heart, and wallet, right? Are the big umbrellas that kind of cover pretty much a lot of what you're going to be saying throughout your career. So to err on the side of brevity, right? So keep it simple. Stupid is that kiss. Methodology, inspire, and Snoop themes and Snoop checklisting is very important. So let's say, for example, the Snoop theme today might be about how you execute callouts or how you are responding or interacting with a caller, or how did you run interviews? Did you do the basics? That type of stuff, right? Okay, nearly done here. Right, the nine theme approach for you to look at your own show, right? And when you are self-critting, but also know that your manager is going to crit you according to these. This is all encompassing, right? So, one, interactions, how you plan, how you prepare, and how you put it to air, the entire process, right? Memorable moments. So, like, we're going to look at, let's say, moments within the show that were the absolute best and they were great, aim for the sun, get the moon, right? So these memorable moments tend to one or the better moments, the useful moments, the meaningful. I want to say meaningful moments are 10 to 1 what we're going to use to maybe promo the show at another stage or on social media, etc. And also maybe podcast and recycle them. Like, yeah, be smart about how you approach refreshing content, right? So how to revisit content in some other way. Break construction. So the bit construction is very, 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 very important. As you know, you've been drilled this since first year. Hook, crumbs, payoff. So the crumbs, the dress up, and the payoff, the blackout. Show prep is mandatory for any show. No need to add any more there. Imaging is not a choice, but a duty. Individual performance is like how is every single team member doing on their own to make sure that the team sounds good, right? Reliability and obviously show structure, the nine theme approach, right? Then we get something called the important half dozen, right? More little methodologies, little that we're gonna have like as a manager, you could look at one. We will look at the playlisting, the music, right? So, did you get through all the hours music that was that was there, it was scheduled, or did you sit and you talk too much, or did you cut them off for whatever reason? We've got to look at that, right? The tempo and the clock structure needs to be in check. The content we obviously check in terms of like its relevance, relatability. Are they great stories? Was there any emotion, empathy in terms of your delivery and also the construct of it? How were the callers valuable in including them and putting them on air? Benchmarks that you have, did you meet them? So the benchmarks of news and for adverts and also your features, etc. Right. And does it have the water cooler effect? In other words, that am I going to, as a listener, go talk about it later with someone at work around the water cooler, right? Hypothetically, right? And is your teasing done correctly? Every time you have a generic link, right? Make sure that you are teasing. That's how you use the generic link, right? Teasing instead of anything else. Don't just back announce a song, say the station, and move on. No, tell us what is coming up next. Multi-platform. Use the platforms contextually in the correct way. Use Twitter or X in the right way. Use TikTok in the right way. Use Instagram. Use LinkedIn. Use Facebook, whatever it may be, and YouTube. The basics are the basics covered. Service elements, right? Which are, like I say, time, temperature, enthusiasm, passion, and buy in, promoting, time management are non negotiable. Anything one of these are non negotiable. But this, the basics, right? Performance, energy, character, authenticity, chemistry, talking to or at the listener, right? Imaging and money matter. So, effects and entertainment, obviously, within terms of advertising. For me, big thing of obviously advertising comes into what matters in terms of money for the station and to the client, right? We could also kind of reinterpret this whole thing in terms of how we might yeah, we might be able to construct content to know that at the end of the day we still are a business, right? And we need to attract more of that. So here it's a little bit of an exercise, right? But we have been doing this, and also the class exercise you'll see there is something that we have obviously we are doing together in terms of critting our own shows. When we do get back, once this is done, and I brief you about the summit of one, we will do this exercise in that class as well to see how far you've come in terms of being able to snoop random shows, right? Anyway, read through Geller's key principles. So beyond powerful radio, no, sorry, next level radio, page 318, and create a full-bodied content link that is three-dimensional. Use more than one resource to construct a knowledgeable approach to the call out. Add value content like a soundbite, social media, red flags. Lastly, be the unique winning component in the link. Everything I've preached and we've tried to practice in class as well. Keep doing this for all your links in the shows, right? Then check all the items listed in the presenter and the story as you snoop the link moving forward, right? Just want to all these particular things, yeah, right? Okay. Did you use? Yeah. Let me just yeah. Right, all these things over here. Did you do this? Check, 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 check. Right, for self crit. Okay, so another checklist over here, program directors checklist. We need to say like sound is does the link sound worth listening to? And then we'll check that yes or no. Does it sell the basics? Yes or no. Has a goal? Yes or no. Does it achieve that goal? Yes or no. Does do we make does it make the show unique, right? So you've like has the DJ and the content, etc., made it an independent product, like a stand up product. Are using the active language, the now here, and are you present in your own uh, delivery, right? Creating theater of the mind, promoting music, creating a unique daily show. Are you facilitating a flow in the show so it's just natural? It's nice. Things are not popping up just out of nowhere. They have no context, whatever, whatever. Uses objectivity. So remember, you as a presenter, as a mediator between everything and anything that is coming as an input or output of your show. If you want to use drama use it effectively. Very important. So maybe you want to really emphasize something that is tragic or that is funny or that is, like I say, it's a bit showy, whatever it may be, right? Then go ahead and make sure that you're using drama effectively, right? Tries something new, so pushing yourself a little bit further than just where you could remain very stagnant and might move in even you might even move backwards, right? You need to surprise the listener. And are you making it personable? IDs themselves and the station. Tell us who you are. Tell us who the station, who the station is. Tell us the frequency, the stuff that is stock standard, right? Facilitates one-on-one communication, promotes the station, and teases effectively, right? So use, please, this here. Take obviously download the lesson. I'm saying these slides and make sure that you are checking these things, whatever it is, every time you are doing a show. Now, here's questions to round up the lesson for you at any one point to ask yourself, am I on the right track? So, one, when it comes to the show, are you more comfortable playing it safe than taking chances on air? Do you worry about looking foolish? If you have, everybody is self aware and self conscious. I get that, right? But there is one thing about it's one thing to worry about looking foolish, and another thing acting foolishly and being a foolish human being, right? So if it's something that's in your head, but it actually isn't what it is in real life, right? Don't beat yourself down and take the chance. We need entertainers here. We need people that are gonna push themselves. Like as soon as you've conquered one thing comfortably, right? Right? So in other words, have done it and you know that, okay, no, one, two, three, four, five times, like in terms of shows that pass by. Oh no, I'm good at this right now. I've got it. Let me move a little bit further into something else, right? Do that. When there is a mistake on air, is it always someone else's fault? Who is to blame for sloppy on air presentation? Hmm, okay. I get that technical difficulties are something that you're getting used to right now, but it is, and I'm not, so there are big technical difficulties at the moment for certain groups that are brought up. I do understand that, but technical difficulties will come throughout your career. And so maybe just right now, learn how to just control yourself and know what is made available to you in terms of being able to carry on with the show because the listener is still listening, and you can't say, oh, there's a problem here, oh, there are gremlins in that. Ugh, like, we don't like to hear that, right? So how afraid are you of getting fired, and does this motivate you? Please, yo, like, this is, I get it's not healthy to live in fear, but you will be replaced. Okay. And so you need to also motivate yourself to do a great job all the time, right? Do your best, like show up, right? And then also make sure that you are not only putting all your eggs on this one, like in this one basket of just being an on-air presenter. Make sure that you are also branching out to being doing a little bit of TV, doing a little bit online, making sure that you're doing your podcast, like do some brand ambassadorship, whatever it is, right? Okay. If you lose your job, how easily do you think you're going to find another one? And that's a difficult question, right, to answer. And it's at this moment in time very unfair to be able to expect someone to answer that. We don't know. You don't. We know that markets are very difficult, and I'm saying, like I said, the job market is very, very, very tight right now. So it doesn't have a lot to do with you as an individual, but more about just there isn't room, So kind of take that with a pinch of salt as well. So if you're a manager, are you willing to risk like change and push your employees, right? Push your own staff, and all those subsidiary departments and those people that are working in, like I say, online, working in PR, working in whatever it is, right? If you're the station manager, you need to be able to push all these people, not just on air, right? Do you feel uneasy when you hear the format being broken? You shouldn't, right? You should say if it's been done by like a skilled jock and it's been done correctly, then you know what? By all means, use the rules that have been taught to you from an early age and break them as long as it sounds great, right? As on air talent, do you feel ruled and restricted by the station's format clock? You shouldn't, right? Because that is something that you can work around. Small boxes allow for many things to be held or stored in them, right? So if you are being put into a small box, right, by rules, regulations, formats, whatever it is, don't feel suffocated, right? Rather just take the challenge and say, I can do a lot with just what is allowed, or to me or for me, right? Okay. Do you feel you have enough control and discretion to structure your show according to the needs of that moment? Do you ever get ideas for somebody else's show or feature, and do you share that with them? Or do you feel you must not feel that you must feel, I don't want to give it to them. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's their own job, but like, I'm not getting any help for my own show, so why should I share it? That's it doesn't confidence, right? Allows you to like that very, very healthy arrogance and the ego, right? That you must be able to say, you know what, like, this is going to sound great on whoever's show. Like, they're still part of my team and brand, and so I'm going to redirect them to this and let them do that interview, that piece, or whatever it is that I've got currently in within my grasp, right? Because it doesn't fit my show at that moment. Do you have total control of your show? uh, Technical production, what I'm saying, to you, like all the different elements, as we said there, like the WhatsApp line, the mail, like mail hotlines, whatever it may be, right? Teammates, guests, everything and anything. Do you feel as a manager or your producers are constantly forcing ideas on the talent? We need balance, right? Do you believe the work you do matters, right? Does it matter to that listener? And in doing so, it will matter to you, right? Are you proud to sell this product? If you don't like the station, then leave. You understand? So, because people want at any job, at any company, and any shop, retail, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? They want people to actually want to work, right? And want to work for that particular place. Do any jobs do any jobs at the station other than the one you have seem very interesting to you? Do you want to learn a little bit more about social media marketing? Do you want to learn about PR and sales? Do you want to learn about middle management, right? Like junior management? Do you want to learn about stakeholder being like how does stakeholder um, structure work? Maybe you'd want to learn a little bit about the legalities, like the legal department, the HR department. You're allowed to, and they will probably allow, like, want to kind of just empower you with a little bit more knowledge because you work for the company as it is, right? Okay, so as a class, I'm going to take that out for the moment, right? So you can take that out, right? Execute your live shows, right? Record them, bring them to class as you are doing, and we're going to snoop together as groups. That one class lecture, when we come back when we are done, is going to be for again once again S1 briefing, but also to look at how you have grown once again in this particular aspect of your learning and this subject to be able to snoop and snoop well, crit well other shows. I'm going to stop and share it right there. And I'm going to say, cheers, have a great week and have a good show. And we will chat one on one online.